Hi everyone, my name is Brandon Cole and I work on the design for services and repair team at Microsoft. We're going to be disassembling the new Surface Go 4, which is one of our most repairable Surface devices. Detailed instructions are available in our service guides that are posted on the Microsoft support site. Please note that I'm only going to demonstrate how to disassemble the device and how to access replacement components at a high level. So before attempting repair, please consult the detailed instructions and follow the safety guidelines in the Surface Go 4 service guide on the Microsoft support website. Repairs should be performed on an electrostatic discharge ESD-safe surface with grounding to protect the unit. Additionally, we recommend removing jewelry such as watches and rings. The tools needed for disassembly are a plastic spudger, plastic tweezers, 3mm Allen key, Phillips number 3, a T5 Torx screwdriver, and a display debonding tool, which is available on iFixit. We will use 2 end spring clamps to support the tool. We also recommend that you count screws and place them away from your open device as you go along. This is to ensure that there will be no loose screws remaining inside your device when it's time to reassemble it. We want to avoid causing any possible damage to the battery or to avoid creating any other unsafe conditions. The battery should not be discarded in the municipal solid waste stream. Instead, the battery and all waste residuals of the repair process must be managed per applicable waste disposal laws. First, ensure the battery is fully discharged and the device is shut down through the Windows system. With that, we're going to get started. We're going to get started by removing the kickstand. The first thing you want to do is turn your device over, face down, and then we'll lift the kickstand. You're going to need a T5 Torx screwdriver in order to remove these screws. There are 4 of them. You always want to set your screws off to the side. We recommend this. With the 4 screws removed, you now rotate your device. Place your hand on the device and pull the kickstand from the enclosure. This may take a bit of force. With the removal of the kickstand, we can start with the debonding process. And there are speaker meshes on either side of the device. So you take your opening tool and you push in at the speaker mesh area on either side. This allows for you to use a debonding tool and insert the guitar pick. You need to take your Allen wrench and make an adjustment so that the guitar pick is set to a specific height. In this case, for this Surface 4 Go, it is 2 millimeters. So with that set, we then can clamp the device, or clamp the debonding tool to the table. Take our device and start on one side with the insertion of the guitar pick. Once the guitar pick is inserted through the speaker mesh, you rotate your device, or you slide your device right across the guitar pick, rotating at the corners. You should proceed slowly to avoid any unwanted damage. You should hear separating between the layers of the adhesive and the display. Once you do the sides and the bottom, you want to take your debonding tool and make another adjustment. This time you are setting the level of the guitar pick to 8 millimeters. You have to reclamp your debonding tool, go back through the speaker mesh area, and do the top side of the device. This is the side where there are forward-facing and rear-facing cameras. Again, you rotate about the corner and slide your device across the guitar pick and the debonding tool. You should begin to hear the separation. It may take a bit of force, and that's okay. And with that, we've completed the debonding process. Once you've completed the debonding process using the debonding tool, You can remove your clamps and you can set the debonding tool to the side. The next step is to remove the display from the enclosure, and you can use a suction cup to do this. And keep in mind there may be a few pieces of adhesive that have not fully separated. At this point you take a guitar pick and you would just separate those manually, pulling it up on the display. The display should be pulled toward you during a repair and then rotated so you can disassemble the FPC. This is going to require a removal of a shield can. So you take your opening tool and you pop a shield can from here. With the shield can removed, there's a locking bar. You have to open the locking bar and release your FPC. With the FPC from the TDM removed, you may now remove your display. Don't forget to take off your suction cup before placing your display to the side. Now we'll continue with the removal of the hinges. This is going to require your Torx driver, T5 driver, and there are 4 total screws, 2 on each hinge, left and right. With the battery exposed, be careful to avoid accidentally touching, poking, or prodding the battery. With the hinges completely removed, we can move on to the antenna deck. For this removal, we'll need a Phillips number 3 to remove 6 screws. Remember, it's recommended to remove all your screws and place them away from your device. With the 6 screws fully removed from the antenna deck, we'll take our plastic tweezers and we'll lift out our antenna deck module and set it to the side. The next item we'll remove is the SD connector, but before removing the SD connector, we need to first remove a shield can that covers it. With our opening tool, we'll pop up the shield can and we'll set this off to the side. Next, you'll take your opening tool and you'll unlock the locking bar, your plastic tweezers, and you'll remove the FPC connector. With the FPC removed, you can now take your Phillips number 3, remove 2 additional screws, holding down the SD connector, and your SD connector is now free. Next, we'll disconnect the blade connector. You take your opening tool, you lift the locking bar, you take your plastic tweezers, and you remove your FPC from the motherboard. Next, you take your Phillips number 3 screwdriver and remove 2 screws at the bottom of the device that are holding in the blade connector FPC. With your plastic tweezers, you pull up on the blade connector FPC because there is a bit of adhesive just beneath the FPC. Lift that up and your FPC should pull right out. Set that off to the side and move on to your next step. The next thing we want to remove is the camera modules at the top of the device. This area also has a shield can covering it. So upon moving your camera modules, you need to first remove your shield can. Take your opening tool and pop up your shield can. With the shield can removed, we can now access the FPCs. Again, these require an opening tool to lift the locking bars holding in the FPC. There should be 3 FPCs and 3 locking bars. With the locking bars lifted, proceed to remove your FPCs. With your plastic tweezers. Your camera modules should pop right out. They are held in place by a bit of adhesive. Your last camera, which is your rear-facing camera, requires you to not only pull out the FPC from the motherboard, but it also has 2 screws that hold it down. So you'll need your Phillips number 3 to remove 2 screws holding down your rear-facing camera. Be sure to place all your removed screws away from your open device. The next step is for the removal of the motherboard. Locate the battery FPC bracket and remove 2 screws using your Phillips number 3. With those 2 screws removed, proceed to look for the remaining motherboard screws. There should be 7 of these screws. You'll also use your Phillips number 3. With all motherboard screws removed, check the device around the motherboard and ensure that all connections have been disconnected. The last connector that needs to be disconnected is the speaker connector. You take your opening tool and you pop out your speaker connector, working each side as you remove it. So with your speaker disconnected and all other screws removed, you can remove your motherboard. Start from the left side using your opening tool, lift up on the motherboard. The motherboard is towed in to the right side near the Surflink connector, audio jack, and the USB-C. Steer clear of your battery FPC bracket, lift up and pull to the left to remove your motherboard. Set this off to the side. The last step is to remove your speakers, your left and your right speaker modules. This requires a PH number 3 and 4 screw removal. With your 4 screws removed from your speaker module, take your spudger, lift up on the left speaker module, unroute your speaker cable connecting the right and left speaker so that your cable is free. Use your spudger again and gently lift up so you have the removal of your speaker module. Set this off to the side. Now with your fully disassembled device. With this, we have completed the disassembly of the Surface Go 4 device. A few things to note. During reassembly, make sure there aren't any screws or foreign objects inside the device, especially near magnets or the battery region. After finishing assembly, remember to connect the device to a power supply to get it to power on. Thank you for your time, and I really hope you found this video useful. If you have any questions, please find more detailed instructions in the service guide available on the Microsoft website. Thank you.